Good morning, Kenny. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. I feel blessed only because I've waited a lifetime to share a conversation with you. I mean, I think in my own bedroom, I must have spun I Like Dreamin 4 million times.
Gee, that's incredible.
For you to be a part of music history in the way that you've been, I mean, I can't imagine what we don't know about you because, you know, so many people, you know, especially radio disc jockeys, we know the artists that we're playing, but we never talk about the songwriters. And you had such a major part of that.
Yeah. That's how it all started for me. I had written a number of hits before I became an artist, and I signed to 20th with Russ Reagan back then, and my first release was I Like Dreamin, and I flew back east to meet with the guy that co-produced with me, Charlie Colello, and I said, Charlie, I hear this a lot like My Eyes Adored You,
Yeah.
which I wrote, and he did the arrangement on. And Charlie, he really clicked on it. It became the record that it is today. I Like Dreamin, and you know, I start songs in a different kind of a way than most people do. I never start with a melody. I start with a title, and the title somehow I grab onto some sort of a melody, and it goes from there. So I had this title, I Like Dreamin, and I pick up a guitar and I'm strumming it, and I go, I like dreaming, a streamer can make you mine, and that was it.
It's so funny that you start with a title, and because as a writer, I don't start with titles because I'm always afraid that people will judge a title like they judge a book.
Right. Well, it seems to come to me the same way every single time. I'm working on a new album right now, an album of inspirational songs that are some of the best songs I've ever written, and I'm looking forward to some of these new songs because I think they're gonna make a lot of people happy.
So, in essence, when you say you're writing brand new music, I mean, you're telling us as listeners that you still like dreaming.
I do, absolutely. And the follow-up was a hit called "Love's Grown Deep."
Yes.
And that album just, I guess they just put it out, StarVista Music. And then my second album is coming out this month also, at the end of this month, called A Song Between Us. But back to the writing. And I have to talk about my partner at the time, Bob Crewe. He was a terrific writer. Do you remember his name?
I do remember his name only because back in my early days of radio, when it came to ASCAP BMI, we had to write down the songwriters on that long sheet of paper. That's the only way I know his name.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, he produced most of the Four Seasons hits, and he produced Frankie Valli.
Yes.
And how that song started was I have gone to the library in 75 or 4. If you recall, there were a slew of records with Georgia in the name. Yes. The Midnight Train to Georgia, The Night the Lights Went Out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I pick up my guitar again, and I'm singing a song, Blue Eyes in Georgia, honest to God. And it goes, blue eyes in Georgia, they're the only eyes I ever loved. and I'm sitting. I take it, and I'm sitting on the piano bench with Frankie Valli, and I go, "So listen to this, Frankie." And I made a mistake and said, instead of Blue Eyes in Georgia, "My eyes are Georgia." And that's how that happened. That's a classic.
Kenny, those are the songs that Casey Kasem used to talk about. I mean, that's the one thing that I miss so much about modern day radio is I don't have that Casey vibe, because I remember when Casey would announce I like dreaming, and it forever stays inside your heart when you hear those songs.
Yes. I also, I think I told you, I wrote the Atlantic Starr hit Masterpiece, and I wrote, remember Tavares, A Penny for Your Thoughts, Nick for a Kiss, and a lot of R&B songs as well. The Deele, Babyface, Shoot 'Em Up movies, on and on.
Wow, to create with Babyface, because Babyface is and was such a powerhouse, I mean, everything about him in the 1990s was just like, this is the new sound of music, the new sound of R&B.
Babyface back in 87, 88, and they heard a demo that I did on Bang Bang Gotcha, Shoot 'Em Up movie. Remember that?
Yes.
And they said that's it, and they did it, and it became a big R&B hit, top 5, and also it crossed over pop as well, and that's how that happened. And what else is it? There's a lot of things come to mind. But that's So I've written, a pretty large array of different kinds of songs. I know I'm leaving something out.
Lady Marmalade, that's what you're leaving out so far. I can't wait to talk about that one.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's just unbelievable, that song. We didn't talk about that yet, did we?
No, we did not, sir.
Okay. 1974, 75, on the side of tour buses, that, brought people around the city, was a promotional thing called Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. Rolling Stones tour, 1974, Get Your Ya-Ya's Out, and it was all over the city on the sides of buses. And that stayed with me, Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. They referred to it differently, get high, get crazy, jump up and down. And I just took it to be a sexual thing that somebody would say, get your ya-ya's out. So I changed it to get your ya-ya da-da, and put it in New Orleans with a prostitute saying, hey, get your ya-ya da-da.
Yep.
And wound up calling it Lady Marmalade. And it's the rest is history, I guess. So, it's been number one 3 times by 3 separate artists, and it's the lead song right now in Moulin Rouge.
Yes,
all over the world, and that's how that song happened. And it took, I must say, my version of it, which is on the 11th hour. I was the lead singer on 20th for the 11th hour. I did the original Lady Marmalade, and then Alan Toussaint.
Mm-hmm.
Remember his name?
Absolutely.
A great, yeah, he's a genius. He got a hold of it, and he turned it into the Labelle record, and everything. Like when that record came out, it's like crazy. People went nuts with it. And then it And then it's been in so many movies. And it was number one again in 2001 in Moulin Rouge, Christina Aguilera,
Yep.
Maya, Lil Kim, and Pink. And then it was number one by a group called All Saints. Do you remember them?
No, I've not heard that version.
Okay, All Saints was an English group. And it was number one all throughout the international world as well. It wasn't number one here, but it was number one in Europe and Britain, their version. So it's an amazing copyright, and it's something that I had to be in it, in that craziness in that time, to obviously be able to come up with something like that.
It just blows me away to see how in touch you are with everything around you, and how you can take something from the Rolling Stones, or you can sit there with Frankie Valli and you have a slip up, but you turn it into a hit. It's like you don't let anything get in your way when it comes to writing music.
No, I don't. That's why I have a large catalog. So, I just I live to write music, I live to record, and I live for my family.
Yeah. Don't you think, though, Kenny, that we are starving for some great new soul music right now? And I feel like that with you releasing your brand new music, it's like you're coming into this moment at the right time, and because we're missing that moment that we can say, yes, my God, some great R&B from 2024.
Yeah, I'm glad it started out as a pop country vibe.
Really?
But I started to get back all the masters that were cut in Nashville for me, but I didn't plan on putting my voice on it. But now there's a number of songs that are really strong songs, and now I've added to those. They're more to the pop end, but I've added some, how could you say, spiritual, heartfelt music, inspirational music.
Mm-hmm.
New thing I'm working on. But it's always one thing with me. It starts with a song. Doesn't start with a beat, doesn't start with a groove. It starts with a concept in my head and a song. Every song that became a hit was in my head as a title. That's how that happened.
Yeah. But see, I love that process, because I pinned out a song called the saddest love song I ever had to write, and it became a book more than a song. I mean, I love it when things like that hit you as a creative mind, and all of a sudden just plant the dang thing and let it grow.
Yeah, that's from my song Love's Grown Deep. Let us plant the seed and watch it grow. Remember Love's Grown Deep?
Yes, I do. In fact, you know what? Let me tell you the reason why I love that song, because I love the jazziness in the background. I think that it was one of the very first times that I sat down and really started believing and loving the sound of jazz.
Yeah, it was a beautiful record, and it gained me. It got me the Pop Singles Artist of the Year in Billboard for 77. So I was happy.
And it stood out in 77 because everything in 77 was thump, 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 disco beat. But you came in there with that sound, and it's like, oh, well, this is unique. This I can call this my own.
Oh, I'm glad you did. So it's been a journey, and I still do it. It's all I ever did. I've never had any other job other than writing songs. I don't know how that happened. I guess I got extremely lucky. And you remember the guy, I remember Mike Curb, Curb Records?
Mm-hmm.
He signed me when I was almost 18 as a writer-singer. And I started to get records out with Toby Gray, Grassroots, the Osmonds, and that's what really started me going forward and forward with writing and writing and writing. And then it all seemed to break loose. I had 4 records on the chart. I had number 1 and number 2 in Billboard. Lady Marmalade, My Adorture, and they switched, spent some time around. And then I had top 10. I had Get Dancin', and then I had I did an R&B hit called "Swing Your Daddy" by Jimmy Gilstrap. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. But I'll tell you what, I'm taking down a lot of notes because I'm going to be hitting iHeartRadio to be looking up these songs.
And "Swing Your Daddy" went to number 2
My God.
on the BBC, and it went top 10 here. And it went "Swing Your Daddy, boop, bop, booty." And then I had another record. God, I forgot. Yeah, it was called "Us in Love." It was on Casablanca record.
Oh.
But I tell you, you should listen to a song on my 3rd album, Night Miracles, on Casablanca. And it's a song called "You're So Beautiful Tonight." And that came out in 1982. And that song has legs like constant people writing me, telling me this is a great song, this is a great song. You should try to find that. It's on, you can go to YouTube and "You're So Beautiful Tonight," Kenny Nolan. And I think it's a beautiful song. It really is.
It's to me, it sounds like one of those songs that started right there at the beginning of what they called adult contemporary music, and it was in that transition period. And man, to re-release that song, I mean, my God, that would be an awesome thing in this modern age.
Well, yes, it's a love song, but it's an up-tempo love song, but it's got just so much beauty to it.
Yeah.
You can go on YouTube. You should find that and play it. You will love it. And then I have another song called "Connect the Dots," which was, I thought, another "I Like Dreamin," but it was not released as a single, which I think it should have been.
Where we can find more is on your website. Where can we go to find that?
Well, you can go to the song album "A Night Miracle." You can go to, you can get "Us in Love" and "You're So Beautiful Tonight." And then you can get a song between a second album, which has some beautiful music on it. And it has that song "Connect the Dots." It's almost like a postcard. It's so beautiful. The first album, which is out now, apparently, there's people are streaming it with "I Like Dreamin" and "Love's Grown Deep."
Yep.
And that's I'm excited about getting some of these new songs going because they're really, pound for pound, they're just as good as any of the earlier songs I've written. So.
Wow. Well, Kenny, you got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
I look forward to it.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Okay, thank you.